Good morning. Center for Spiritual Living, Los Angeles. It's a beautiful winter morning, and we are going to wake up our minds and bodies to the joyful light of spirit today. You know this song, I'm sure. I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Singing and playing. I'm singing and playing with my mind stayed on spirit. I'm singing and playing with my mind stayed on spirit. I'm singing and playing with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Okay, now walking and talking. I'm walking and talking with my mind stayed on spirit. I'm walking and talking with my mind stayed on spirit. I'm walking and talking with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Is there another one? Loving and laughing, I think? I'm loving and laughing with my mind stayed on spirit. Or laughing and loving. I'm laughing and loving with my mind. That's it. Stayed on spirit. I'm laughing and loving with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Let's go back to woke up. I woke up this morning with my mind affirming stayed on spirit. I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. One more time. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Good morning.
And yes, good morning. I love that song. It explains now why I woke up at 4:55 this morning wide awake, because I woke up with my mind stayed on spirit. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. I love the hallelujah part, and then you did a special hallelujah part. Good morning, Jesse Powers.
Good morning, Keith Cox. How are you?
But it's afternoon for you already, right?
It certainly is. I'm over here on the East Coast.
The land of Ohio.
Yes.
Yes, where we were comparing notes earlier about frigid temperatures.
Yes. It's frigid relatively wherever you are right now. So
well, unless you're in, balmy tropical weather. So yes.
Sure, that's true.
Well, it's so nice to have you back with us. It's been a while since we've had you here at the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles. I'm so happy you're here, and I know that you've got some music that you're excited to share with us, which I haven't heard yet. So I was like, surprise us. So you're going to surprise us a bit later, right?
Yeah. I have a new song that I just wrote not long ago. So I'm really excited to share it with everybody.
Good. Well, I'm so excited to hear it. So thanks for being here, and see you in a bit.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, see you in a bit. Good morning, everyone. Let's all wake up our mind and be stayed with spirit. I'm Reverend Dr. Keith Cox, and it is Sunday morning, and we come together for our Sunday celebration service here by means of the technology of YouTube and Zoom and whatever method you may be finding us, either live or in person. Welcome, and know that just where you are, the divine is in all of its glory and its magnificence and its completeness. experiencing and expressing itself by means of us. And as the song says, let's wake up our mind. We are the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles, and we come together to do just that, to impart unto ourselves the blessed opportunity to tap into that which is sacred in our soul, which is our psyche, our mind, our ability to think and to process and to be, and to use our mind in a way that is effective so that it invokes transformation in our life. And so that's what we come together for. And I'm going to affirm that wherever you are, you're in the perfect and right place to feel healing and safety and completeness. And indeed, your mind is doing the work that it's come here to do. Today is December 15th, counting down the days for the holiday season here in the land of Mother Earth, I guess it would be. So I'm glad that you're here with us. Today we're going to kick off our service by looking at some slides, our opening slides. So welcome, and let's dive into just that. So we are the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles, and our vision statement is supporting individuals finding their personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. We welcome you, and in the vein of welcoming you, honor you by going into an act of namaste. What we like to do, whether we're in person or virtual, is to have all of us come together in a way that is a centering, grounding activity. We do that through the act of namaste. Excuse me, in its traditional sense, namaste, when I say traditional, meaning in its modern incarnation, namaste means the God in me honors and acknowledges the God in you, or the light, or the peace, or the power, or the thing itself. The original meaning through Sanskrit is I bow to thee. And so today, whichever may feel right for you, I invite you to open your hands and let that be reflective and representative of opening your heart. Let's all take a deep breath in together. And as we exhale out through our mouth, pulling our hands together in prayer position, just like that beautiful being of light is doing on the sparkling screen, let's bow forward, say together, Namaste, and know that whatever energy and vibration that is coming from the act and the verbiage, the audible verbiage of Namaste, not only radiates from you wherever you may be, but returns to you in a soothing, warming, comforting feeling of the acknowledgement of the oneness of life that we each have the, once again, blessed, sacred opportunity to express. As a community, we come together to honor and welcome all races, all religions, all countries of origins, all sexual orientations, all genders, all abilities. We stand with you and want you to know that you're safe here just as you are. Many of you have heard that my favorite Ernest Holmes quote, Ernest Holmes being the person who revealed, if you will, the teachings of science of mind, is spirit has placed the stamp of individuality upon itself and called it you. And looking at the graphic on the screen, I love the beloved little being down there, down towards the closer part of the bottom right. It has the big heart on their chest. And I love that because I like to look into that heart and just think that that represents all of us. And as we are unable to physically touch each other when we're in this virtual world that we're in, but we can imagine touching the hearts of all that are participating in this service today. And also let's know that as we're honoring each other, let's remember that our words have power. And so let's affirm these words together. We welcome one and we welcome all. As a community, we come together to teach primarily the philosophy, faith, and way of life known as the science of mind. It is one of many new thought philosophies, with each of them at their very core that there's only one thing taking place in life. It's a very high-minded thought. But what is meant by that is that there's a power in the universe that exists by means of each and every one of us. And in its oneness of life, that is the power of life itself. It's the source of all. And that it's experienced by means and expressed by means of each one of us through our minds. We are connected by that mind, uppercase M-I-N-D. And so as use of that mind, and we individualize it. Remember, spirit has placed the stamp of individuality upon itself and called it you. Through our individual minds, we express and experience and act and react and interact with the very thing itself. also known as Source or the divine or the thing itself, and even referred to as God. And so when you and I become more attentive and purposeful through our thinking and our actions and our reactions and our interactions with life, we have an impact on our lives because we live in a universe that's governed by spiritual law. It responds to us by providing for us and through us a corresponding experience in life. That is at both the micro level, our day-to-day actions, and at the macro level, the evolutionary aspect of the expressions of life. Humans is what we're looking at mostly now, but all sentient beings. And so it's important and important for each and every one of us to pay attention to how we think and to how we show up and how we live our life. And thus, it's important for us, I'm going to keep going back to that word, it keeps coming up, important for us to remember that we're each on a journey of finding personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening, and we as a community collectively and individually support individuals on that journey. And so today I invite you that wherever you may be on the journey, to accept for yourself that you're at the perfect and right place, no matter what's going on. Because everything that has unfolded in life, that which at the human level we call good and bad, has brought us to this point, this juncture, to retune, rethink, renew, and open up to waking up to our mind focused on spirit, the thing itself by which we have the blessed sacred opportunity to express its energy, and to remember that we are imbued with the qualities of the divine, which include but are not limited to peace and power, beauty and joy, life, love, wisdom, and light. We open our service each Sunday morning with a ritual called Calling in the Light. I invite you to look at, if it's safe for wherever you may be, to look at the orb on the screen with the flickering flame. And let that be both a reflection and a representation of the light of life that exists in all, as all, including you and me. And hear these words as a soothing balm to your heart. And for many, it's not the first time we've heard it, but let's hear it anew while at the same time being deeply appreciative of the repetition that comes with this ritual. Today we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit, that which Jessie was singing about a while ago, and we were singing along with her. The purpose of this ritual is to draw into our gathering this morning a more conscious awareness of our oneness and the qualities I spoke of a moment ago that we possess as complete expressions of the divine. Just taking another deep breath in and exhaling and feeling the vibration shift during this experience and this ritual. I invite and affirm for each of us that we all become ever more aware of the light of life that exists in and as all expressions of life. All expressions of life. Which includes you and it includes me. Looking at the flickering flame, I invite you to invite into your field of awareness and your ability to imagine that as we navigate our day-to-day activities of life, no matter how hectic or calm, how comforting or uncomfortable they may be, that in this moment we set the intention to see within all beings of light this particular flickering flame, to remind us of that which we all share. And then to let this animated energy form on the screen remind us that it's also including and beyond what we can see and touch at times, because all of life is energy. And so as we metaphorically light the candle for calling in the light, I'd like to share an affirmation that the great Thich Nhat Hanh, a Buddhist monk who passed away this past year, stated, and let's hear it as an invitation and an instruction for each of us. Lighting this candle, offering the light to countless Buddhas, meaning all people, the peace and the joy I feel brighten the face of the earth. So I'm going to restate it, and I invite you to hear it in this new way. Lighting this candle that we light and calling in the light, offering the light to countless beings of light, the peace and the joy I feel brighten the face of the earth. Such a great visual with words behind it for what I was speaking of just a moment ago. Let's just feel that energy and let it be a reminder to us of the words I've already used many times this morning, the sacred, blessed opportunity to not only shine our light, but to call in the light and then honor and acknowledge it in others. Jesse's going to come on the screen and take us through the song Calling in the Light. It's a call and response song, and the lyrics are on the screen of our part. Jesse?
Calling in the light, calling in the light, calling in the light of love, calling in the light, calling in the light, calling in the light of love. I am love, I am love, I am peace, I am peace in my heart. I am free, I am spirit, I am soul. All together we are whole. Calling in the light, calling in the light, calling in the light of love. Calling in the light, calling in the light, calling in the light of love.
And so it is.
So it is.
So peaceful and tranquil and transformative and reflective.
Like a deep breath.
Yeah. I love that visual on the screen of the energy transforming. It's it really reminds us that no matter what's going on out here, there's multiple dimensions of energy always happening, right? And so we can both call in the light and be the light, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
All
Wonderful.
things at once.
All things at once. All things at once. That could be the title of a song.
Okay. Challenge accepted, Keith.
I was walking with a buddy a couple of days ago who's a songwriter, and we were laughing about something, and I made some statement, and I don't even know what it was. And he stopped and he goes, "Hold on." He took out his phone, opened up his memos, and title of the song, and he used the snippet quote I had just added.
Oh yeah,
He looked at me and
good.
goes, "That's the title of my next song." I'm
He
like, "Oh,
better
great."
put
And he
you
goes,
on the.
and he said, "And by the way, you're getting no credit." I was like, "Okay."
I was just gonna say, he better put you on the songwriting credit.
I was like, "It's okay, Greg. It's okay." Creativity comes in all forms and fashions, right? So
That's true.
it
Comes at all
does.
times too. You just can't help it.
So speaking of creativity, you've got a new song. Are you debuting it with us, or is it just the first time we've heard it?
It's the first time you've heard it. It's maybe the third time I've played it publicly. So,
Hmm.
I debuted it at Unity of Houston last Sunday.
The
So,
Michael Gott's church, right?
yes,
Yes.
Michael Gott's church.
I
Yes,
love
I
me
was
some
out
Michael
there.
Gott. Yes.
I love a Michael Gott. He's
I do
fantastic.
too. I don't do. Have you ever seen, sorry, a side note, have you ever seen the video? You may have heard him sing it, but the video of him on YouTube singing I Release and I Let Go?
Uh-uh.
Okay, add it to your list. You have to watch it.
Okay.
It is beyond. He's transcendent.
Okay. Ooh, I can't wait.
All right, take it away, sister.
All right. Another song about light. Let the light come through like a door wide open. Let it all be new. All that once was broken. Let the light come through like a hearth in winter. Let it fill the room, ever warm and tender. It lives in me, it lives in you. So let the light come through. Let the light come through like a sacred morning, all hope renewed. See the world transforming, illuminate the places in the dark, and let your life be like a blazing star. Remember that the light is where you are. It lives in me, it lives in you. So let the light come through. Let the light come through. There's no time for hiding. It was always you. Ever golden shining, illuminate the places in the dark, and let your life be like like a blazing star. Remember that the light is where you are. It lives in me, it lives in you. It lives in me, it lives in you. It lives in me, it lives in you. So let the light come through.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
And so connected to, as you'll hear, the message that I'm going to give in a moment. For it could not have be a more tuned in component of that, about letting the light come through, right? So what I love about that is that we're the vehicle, for lack of a better term, like we're the portal. I just got a really good relationship with the word portal this week, listening to some metaphysical stuff. And before that, I had a bad connotation to it because it all seems so woo-woo, right? But I've been listening. What I've been listening to has I'll just keep going. What I've been listening to breaks down the understanding of the different dimensions of energy in a new way, right? And how we're processing it through mind. And so it makes sense that we're a portal for the term this individual talks about that I'm listening to is talking about we're a portal for source, meaning the energy source has to find some way to, it has to express itself through us. It's there, but for us to have the experience of it, we have to be that for it, right? Science of Mind teaches that. It's just never used the word portal. In fact, I was probably taught that that's a bad word because it had, new agey woo-woo stuff to it.
Right.
When you really step back and think about it, like, well, it's just a different word. Like we give meaning to words our own self. So
That's true.
So it's letting the light come through, right? We're the filter by which it's doing its thing.
Right.
We're the prism, if you will, right?
We're just the shape. You know how they put those filters in those lights with like shapes or stencils, and then the light like projects onto a stage shaped like trees. It's like
it's so funny that you say that because I yesterday got this really wild hair, and it was just a wild hair. I had no plans on doing this. And at like 1 o'clock, I'm like, oh, I have a vintage aluminum Christmas tree in my garage with the whole stuff. I haven't put it up in years. I'm going to go do that. And I got out within 2.5 hours. I now put this tree up, hung the balls on it, and put one of those antique color wheels that I actually bought with David Alt one day. And it's exactly that. So as the wheel turns, right, there's 4 quadrants, a blue, an orange, green, and red, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And as it changes, then because it's a different color, the light changes, right? But it's the same light. Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's the same light being shown.
Right.
Now, it's interesting. I then decided I wanted to buy some new lights. So I went on Amazon and bought some that's got it built into, I guess, the LED portion of it. Travis can tell me what. But then I can coordinate them on a remote that they change all the same color. So, but there again, what a great example of what your song teaches us, right? That we are the means by which it comes through. Mm-hmm. We're not creating it, right? We're not making it happen, right? We're not even calling it in, even though we have used calling in the light as the lyrics in our song. We're just letting it come through us.
Right.
So.
Right.
Thank you. Can't wait to hear the other surprise at the end.
Oh, well, the other one might not be so surprising. I'm not.
Okay,
we'll see.
It's going to be perfect.
Depending on your talk. Sometimes I change it at the last second. So.
Good. Well, I don't know either way because you told me I don't know what we're talking about. So,
yeah.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks, Jesse.
All right. Thanks.
See you in a bit. So in our little mini lesson we just had with Jesse, but it leads really to continue the message that I had for us today and thinking about giving the message today in this way. It feels like it's been a while since I've sat before you and spoken kind of extemporaneously while also having notes, because before we've done, anyway, let it go with that. Our theme for the month is joy is happening through me. And as I was out on my morning walks, which I've been doing a lot of late, I kept hearing in my mind this hymn that was sung when I was a child at the Baptist church, and I'm sure it's sung in many churches. In fact, Jesse probably knows it, but it's of a traditional hymn that goes, I've got joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Down in my heart, hey, down in my heart. I've got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Down in my heart to stay. And as it kept coming up, I kept thinking about not only my history with that song, and then there were times that it wasn't so good relative to the Baptist church. And then the second verse of that is, and I'm so happy, 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 so very happy. I've got the love of Jesus in my heart. That's the part that triggered stuff for me. But in looking at the happiness and the joy and it being in my heart, down in my heart, it prompted me to begin to look at what is joy. For all of us, what does the word joy mean? And since we are looking at joy this month, I wanted to examine it and from a few different angles today, and let's see where in each of our lives we're willing to be the filter for joy, while at the same time becoming potentially acutely aware of anything in our life that might be blocking joy in our life, and to hopefully be able to give ourselves the gift and the sacred, blessed opportunity that keeps speaking through me today. We all need to hear that for some reason. A new perspective on joy. Traditionally, joy is defined as a state of emotion or exaltation, if you will. Dr. Ernest Holmes, who I've referenced earlier this morning, in The Science of Mind, defines joy as an expectancy of good. I love that. Think about it for a second. Do you go through life with an expectancy of good? And in my own personal evolution, as I was just sharing with Jesse in regards to studying with and listening to stuff of late, I know there was a time in my life where we were taught, and I even taught, that we shouldn't go through life with an expectation of certain things. But in thinking that through, it's not that we shouldn't have an expectation or an expectancy of good. It's to not get attached to how that good shows up. That's the thing. So let's have an expectation that joy is prevalent and a critical part of our life. Experientially, which is a result of consciousness joy, a joy of consciousness. And to set the intention and the purpose to live a life of joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Down in my heart to stay. And that's the key, the to stay part, meaning that we build a joy-filled spiritual consciousness musculature that is strengthened with every thought and every action and interaction and reaction reflective of joy. So then it's important for us to know what joy means to each of us. Another definition or perspective is the great Dr. David Hawkins, who many of you know I just love his work, that power versus force, truth versus falsehood, a very scientific, energetic, psychological, sociological approach to mind and spirit and the thing itself, who has created through the study of thousands of people over the years the map of consciousness, with there being a lowest vibration of sustenance and survival in life, and the highest being enlightenment. Jesus, Buddha, Mother Teresa, and that which we all have within us as possibility and opportunity, broken down from 0 to 1,000 at that level of somewhere around, let's just say 500 to 600. So over the half breaking point is joy. Joy, in his measurement of the map of consciousness, which is 2 degrees below the highest possible enlightenment. So what is that? Is one that is experienced with a level of joy through a life view of completeness. Now, one might say we're never complete. He's not speaking of totality completeness. It's about finding those moments in life on the journey of finding personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. It's in those moments of spiritual awakening where we feel that completeness and have a view of the divine or the source of life as one, all interconnected, the mystical nature of life. And that is what ignites within us or strengthens or reveals through us joy. Now, I'm speaking of joy today, but it could also I can also speak of any of the other qualities: peace, power, beauty, light, life, love, wisdom, which we in our philosophy, faith, and way of life said we're all imbued with, but not limited to just those. But we address those so that it gives us a template, a foundation, a perspective on what to seek to experience as a result of being committed to expressing that. Why joy today? Because at this time of year, much like light, we look at these qualities of light and joy and the transformation from darkness to light, or light to darkness, as we're about to embark on the winter solstice here in the northern hemisphere. Many faith-based traditions celebrate this time of transformation, of returning to darkness when the light becomes less than. And then post that, the light always exists, but then it immediately starts coming back. Hanukkah, Christmas, and many other faith-based traditions. It's important for us to know that whether we're speaking of light or joy, both which are synonyms for the qualities of the divine that we're all imbued with, that it's all about having an awareness that even though the darkness may appear, that the essence of light is always there. I'm going to read to you several things today, and I'd like to read to you right now this Shana Tova prayer with Hanukkah coming up soon. And it's an affirmation in a prayer that says, Shana Tova, Happy New Year. This year, and Hanukkah is coming up, I believe, actually on Christmas, the first day of Hanukkah. Let us not just light the holiday candles. Give us the strength to be the light that illuminates the darkness. And let us fill our hearts with each other's light. Think of the heart of the little being on the Calling in the Light, or We Welcome One and Welcome All slide earlier. And let us fill our hearts with each other's light. Best wishes for a sweet and loving year. And let's remember that each new year begins with each new moment. A year is just a measurement of time by some calendar that someone's created. Doesn't mean it's insignificant or unimportant, but it's also important for us to understand we don't have to gauge our life based on that. Let's gauge it. When I say gauge it, meaning use a methodology of now is the moment to begin, to think anew, to start in a fresh perspective of mind. I'd like to reread the Shana Tova, Happy New Year prayer, and insert joy where light is. This year, let us not just light the holiday candles, but give us the strength to be the joy that illuminates and transforms the sadness. And let us fill our hearts with each other's joy. Best wishes for a sweet and loving year. Joy is prevalent at this time of year. We hear it in the Christmas Carol, which is also really a hymn, I believe, called Joy to the World. Very Christian in its origin, but when we break it down and perceive it in a metaphysical sense, it makes perfect sense. Not that it doesn't in the Christian sense, but you need to be a Christian for it to make sense for you. The lyrics are, Joy to the world, the Lord has come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room, and heaven and nature sing. And heaven and nature sing. What does that mean from a metaphysical perspective? Well, joy to the world, the Lord has come, meaning that you and I have tuned into the moment of a spiritual awakening. A spiritual awakening in our philosophy, faith, and way of life, and other broad New Thought teachings, means a remembrance of the oneness of life that you and I are one with. Language is important here, but it also provides the opportunity mentally for us to broaden our perspective and see things anew. It's a remembrance that we are one with the sea of consciousness, we're often taught. So joy to the world, the Lord has come, that remembrance has come. So let earth receive her King, meaning let you and I in physical form as a being that is imbued with the qualities of the divine, because the divine itself is giving us the opportunity to express itself. Let us receive that spiritual awakening. And let every heart prepare the room. I love the theme here of the heart and the little being on the welcome, we welcome one and welcome on slide, which reminds us that we are to open our heart My acronym for joy, just open yourself. Open our heart to receive that thing itself that is already there within us. Jesse's song, let us come into the light, right? Let us open up and receive that which is already there. And when we do that, heaven and nature sings. And heaven and nature sings. It bears repeating, meaning that we then, to look at it from a metaphysical modern day perspective, we then tune into that highest vibration that exists, according to Dr. David Hawkins, that enlightenment, and walk the walk of the highest, right? In other words, tuning into that which Jesus represents as the example walking the earth. It's that which is celebrated at this time of year of the birth of the Christ, not the person, not the boy, not the baby in the manger, but the essence of the possibility and opportunity within you and within me to be transformative in our life as a result of remembering who we are, imbued with the qualities of the divine, because we are a divine being, because the beingness of the divine is in fact giving us life. The next verse, joy to the world, the Savior reigns. Not some outside being saving us, but because we've tuned into and awakened that within us that is providing our own salvation, meaning the remembrance who we are, so we let go and forget anything that is contrary and everything that is contrary to our divine nature. That would hark the herald angels to sing. And so that lyric on the second verse goes on to say, so let men their songs employ. In other words, once we have allowed this opening into us, as us, to let the light shine, to let the joy out, to be the Christ itself, to then make sure that every component of our life reflects that. Let men, the human, their songs employ, while fields and floods, rocks, hills, and plains, repeats the sounding joy, joy to the world. Or repeat the sounding joy, as an affirmative metaphysician might say, joy is happening through me. Joy is happening through me. And for you and I to remember that on our journey of finding personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening, our role here is to be that vessel, if you will, to be that channel, to be that portal, and not to be it, because we're always it, but to not be it unconscious, to not be it unawake, to not be it asleep, but to be it awake, alert, alive, and, as this individual that I've been listening to speak of, tuned in, tapped in, and turned on. Meaning we're raising our vibrational frequency, we're raising our consciousness, raising our receptivity to the light itself, to the joy itself. So then, when we say we're on a journey of finding joy through a personal spiritual awakening, how do we find it? We do it by not only looking externally, but looking externally through the lens of that which has been awakened internally. Joy. Just open yourself to the divine that is already there. To begin to practice our spiritual nature, where we accept that we are imbued with peace, power, beauty, joy, light, life, love, and wisdom, and then to be it and see it. To begin to consciously become a spiritual practitioner of calling in the light, not from the perspective that we're calling it in because it's been missing, but calling it in through our awareness that it is there, a higher vibration of our awareness. So then when we tune into the calling in the light ceremony, we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which exists within us and all beings of life. And we acknowledge that all people and all faiths are of this, all sentient beings, squirrels, cats, dogs, all of it, right? That we all come from, meaning that we are birthed out of physically as well as energetically, the one great universal presence. Hear that again. We're all birthed out of the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. So then we go on to say in this ritual, the purpose of it is to draw into our gathering this morning a more conscious awareness of our oneness, and then the qualities that we possess as complete expressions of the divine. It's not just so that we do that in community together, albeit extremely powerful and impactful every time it's said, because it layers upon itself in consciousness, because consciousness is all there is, and consciousness is not bound by time or space. But so that you and I individually have that as a touchstone within us as we choose to then use it as a baseline by navigating the challenges as well as the rewards of our everyday life. Because the truth is, they're one and the same. Joy. Let there be peace on earth, and let there be joy on earth. Another great spiritual practice is the song we sing, Let There Be Peace on Earth. And let it begin with me. Let there be joy on earth, and let it begin with me. All of these practices that we're referencing here, including the Shana Tova prayer, is a reminder to each one of us that it begins with the decision and the willingness to just open yourself joy, so that it's happening through us, awake, alert, alive, tuned in, tapped in, and turned on. I think right now about that song, Let There Be Peace on Earth, and the 18 years I ran the spiritual-based teen camps for the Centers for Spiritual Living and the previous organizations. For many years, many years, way before me, but certainly the 18 years I was there. At the end of every day, that we would gather in circle and share, and then say the Lord's Prayer, and then sing the song, Let There Be Peace on Earth. But the youth didn't sing it as Let There Be Peace on Earth. They sang it this way. Yes, there is peace on earth, and it has begun with me. It's a declaration, an affirmation that I'm doing my part right now. I'm not just inviting it in. I'm not just inviting it into my awareness. I'm not just hoping that's going to happen. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But they went one step further and affirmed it as a realization. Really, they spoke of it in the nature of spiritual mind treatment, which is the tool, one of the tools that Ernest gave us, which is declaring a realization of that which we are looking for to experience in life, joy, peace on earth, love, the light. To know that that which we're looking for is the very thing we're looking with. Rumi tells us that which we are seeking is seeking us. In other words, step into the realization right now, the as-if principle of drawing it through us, holding the truth that it exists, and not in anticipation of it showing up, but with the expectancy that it does show up and that we're tuned in, tapped in, and turned on when it does, and we recognize it. How do we do that? We do that by starting right here and right now, and by remembering the power that is within us and that is within all beings, and that the law of life responds. The great Flannery Zizek writes this: in all of us there's a divine consciousness, a soul that shines brightly within. Within all of us is a divine light. No matter who you are, what you have done, or what you believe, we each have and are source, the creative energy of life, the divine within us. Light, living in God's healing truth. What is one of the truths we want to live in starting right now? That joy is happening through us. Using Flannery's words, let's hear this again. In all of us, there's a divine consciousness, a soul that shines brightly within. Within all of us is a divine joy. No matter who you are, what you've done, or what you believe, we each have source, the creative energy of life, the divine within us. Let's remember that this thing, the thing itself, works for us always. And as it says in the book, The Science of Mind, how does it work? It works for us by working through us. And it is us, always. It cannot work any other way. It spreads itself over the whole universe and shouts at us from every angle. But it can only become power to us when we recognize it as power. Today, I invite you to set the intention, to set the declaration, the realization that it is indeed happening through you in a way unlike ever before. Because this is a new now moment. Its nature does not change. Your nature does not change. But our receptivity and awareness of our nature is forever changing. The question is it changing purposefully and consciously? Today, I invite you to open up, to be the vessel, the channel, if you will, for miraculous transformation in this season of miracles. How do you do that? By having the willingness and the intention and the desire and to act in accordance to see things differently. Don't judge yourself. Just be willing to see it differently. Marianne Williams writes in her book, Tears to Triumph, this prayer. Yes, it's a prayer of supplication, but you and I have enough intelligence within us to use it affirmatively and to not get caught up in the language and the nature. We know the intent, and here's the words. Dear God, I'm willing to see this differently is the most powerful prayer for miraculous transformation. Today, I affirm for all of us that we see things differently, that we step forward mentally and emotionally and experientially because that's how we are expressing it in the form of conscious awareness transformation. The great Ram Dass tells us this. Everything in your life is there as a vehicle for your transformation. Use it. Today, let's remember that everything in our life has within it the seed for and as joy. As joy. Are you willing to be open to that? And to not just have joy, 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 joy down in your heart, but it's there to stay. And as a result of that, you're willing to be a light unto the world in a new way. Now, don't burden yourselves with what you think is required upon you to be the light. Just be the light. You already are, but let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Joy to the world. You, the Lord, has come. And let heaven and earth sing your praises. I'd like to close with, I don't know if it's an article, it's a writing by the great Raymond Charles Barker. It's going to be in our newsletter tomorrow that goes out for us to continue to hear and to repeat and affirm. I'm going to read it as written because he speaks of it as the title, which is light. But I invite you throughout the week to read it both inserting joy where light is or light, whatever feels right to you, or both for that matter. But to use it as a tool for transformation in your life, as a spiritual practice, to remember and then remember and then remember who you are. And this is who Dr. Barker says you are. You're a light of the world. Your consciousness, spiritually aware, is illuminated by divine ideas. It has no place for the darkness of false beliefs. Light, the gift of life, is yours without price. Like the Star of Bethlehem, it leads to full awareness of what you are in truth and love. Trust the light, which dispels all that is untrue and transitory. It's never failed those who seek its guiding essence of truth eternal. Affirm for you, the light has come and the glory of God is risen in your consciousness. You're free to be the full individualization of total mind, which is total being. That's the action step. You are now the victor, never again the victim. You are one with all the goodness there is. Peace, beauty, love, and I'm going to add joy, or yours in the light which lighteth all whose thinking is worthy of them. Your thinking is worthy of them. All this is yours today. I affirm for each one of us, we receive this, we allow it, we open to it, and from this moment forward, to the best of our ability, we reveal it. And so it is. Jesse's going to come back and sing a song that's going to anchor this in our consciousness. Be willing to receive this light. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Rev. I don't play this song very often, so this is new to you. But it's all about when you're to allow your cup to fill and to allow it to overflow. So we're letting in all the light, all the joy. And instead of, your container becoming overwhelmed by the flow of this eternal love, light, joy, power, beauty, you need to go get a bigger container. So this is like from the perspective of spirit to each one of us. Here we go. Sometimes I get a glimpse of what happens in your head, and I gotta say that it sounds so ridiculous. It makes me wonder if you understand how blessed I've been feeling being with you. 'Cause you got this way of carrying the light, just like a prism giving rainbows to people passing by, projecting technicolor dreams before my eyes. You just radiated, ain't it beautiful? And you got me so good that you could go and break my heart in two, and I would probably smile in awe of all of the beautiful ways that you do you. So baby, you better get used to it. My love ain't going nowhere. It starts as a spark, now my heart won't quit. My love ain't going nowhere. Your cup's too small and it all won't fit. My love ain't going nowhere. Better go to Home Depot, get a whole bucket, 'cause my love ain't going nowhere. I love to witness you in all your humanness, 'cause I get to see the things in me that you reflect. I get to reel and get this feeling in my chest. I'm in love, baby, with every little piece of you. You got me so good that you could go and leave me in the dust. You can't really. I'd be delighted to know there was more of you that I get to love. So baby, you better get used to it. My love ain't going nowhere. It starts as a spark, now my heart won't quit. My love ain't going nowhere. Your cup's too small and it all won't fit. My love ain't going nowhere. Better go to Home Depot, get a whole bucket, 'cause my love ain't going nowhere. That's what Spirit said. Spirit's love is so big. Spirit's joy is so big. Gotta go get a bucket. Baby, stop playing like you ain't amazing, blazing with beauty and truth. That's you. Somebody heard me praying, craving, waiting years for a love like you. Baby, stop playing like you ain't amazing, blazing with beauty and truth. Somebody heard me praying, craving, waiting years for a love like you. Been waiting years for a love like you. Can you imagine Spirit praying to itself for you? Because I think that's exactly what happens. Spirit's just been waiting for years to express itself as you, through you, you extremely and incredibly special being. Waited years for a love like you. Waited years for a love like you. I waited years for a love like you.
I love it. Go to Home Depot, girl. Get a big bucket.
I know. Gotta put that on our to-do list now.
That's
Gotta
right.
Go to Home Depot.
I love it. What a fun song. Is that did you write that song?
I did, yeah.
I love it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Have you released an album yet?
Oh, yeah. I have 2 albums out.
2 albums?
But it's been a while. The last one I released in 2021, so I'm very behind. I have a lot of music.
It's time.
Yes.
It's time, girl. It's time.
It's very much time.
Well, thank you so much for being here.
I love it.
I love it. I
I
know
love
there's
listening
just,
to you speak, and
oh, thank you. Thank
yes,
you.
yes.
I know there's discussion about you potentially being with us in 2 weeks from now. There may seem to be a little confusion with
I know. Well,
Miss
yeah.
Steinberg about that, but we'll talk later. So
We'll talk about it.
we'll talk. We'll talk.
We'll
We'll
talk,
talk. So
okay?
yeah. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I know you're going to come back in a moment and take us out on Let There Be Peace. So wonderful. So thank all of you for being here today, and just know that you're deeply acknowledged and appreciative and celebrated wherever you are and just exactly who you are. So thank you for being here. Thank you to Robert Hensley, our administrative assistant, and who's back east, and thank you. And thank you to Travis Smith and to Jesse and to all of you. A reminder that we deeply appreciate your financial support. You can support us by going to our website, csl-la.org, and click on the donate button there. And you can do that electronically. You can also go through Zelle if you'd like to do that. And or you can write a check and send it in. That information is also on our website, or use the app in the App Store, Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles. We appreciate all of your financial support. And as you're thinking of giving at end year, any additional is always welcome, and deeply, deeply appreciative on behalf of the board and those that we support. Thank you so much for all of your contributions and awareness. We do have a newsletter that goes out each week. That's going out tomorrow. It will have the writing by the great Raymond Charles Barker, who was a teacher of teachers. He was a student of Ernest Holmes, and then he taught some of the greats. My first teacher, Kennedy Schultz, he taught Stuart Grayson, and he was the teacher for Louise Hay. Just a brilliant man, and I feel so blessed to have been able to attend one of his, maybe last, if not last, one of the last workshops in the 80s before he passed away. Just a transformative being, a powerhouse of old school metaphysics, and certainly helped change the trajectory of my life. And so it's personally important to me and really touching to be able to share that today, and to know that you will get great strength out of it by reading it in the newsletter this week. And maybe Robert can also post it on our website, so we have that accessible. Midweek morning meditation takes place on Wednesday mornings. Please avail yourself of that. Our new thought text for the day goes out each morning at 7:30. I assume that you're all getting that. And next Sunday, we come back together online. We did our in-person service last week, and that was our holiday service. If you'd like to sing Christmas carols, go check that out. We also will talk with Robert about getting on our website a link to the previous, you can do it on YouTube, I believe, or we'll pull it forward, that Christmas or holiday concert we did back in 2020, which is always a great resource to look at, and we'll keep going. So once again, thank you for being here. I'd like to close with an affirmative prayer, spiritual mind treatment, and then Jesse will come back and take us out with the song Let There Be Peace on Earth. And then after that, if you're on Zoom and you'd like to stay on and say a brief hello, we can do that with each other. So if you're wherever you may be, if you're safe to where you can close your eyes, I invite you to do that. And I affirm for each of us that we receive right now. Even using the language, we are open to the download of spirit, which means that our mind opens up as if it's like a Rubik's Cube. And the purpose of this rearranging is to create space in mind and an avenue, a clear avenue by which we tune into that which is our source, the source of all life, who its innate nature is of intelligence and wisdom, as well as peace and power and beauty and joy and light and life and love and wisdom. And so the container that is our mind is bigger now than it was earlier today. And so we don't cram it up with stuff. We just open it so that that which is already there, the light of life, the joy of life, begins to fill it at the perfect and right pace. And as it begins to fill the reservoir of consciousness in our being, we're tuned in, tapped in, and turned on to it. And as a result, we begin to see it and feel it and express it and experience it in new ways. We allow that to feel natural as opposed to freaking out and celebrating and running through the house like a fool on fire. We just lean into the natural rhythm of growth and evolution and the light shining brighter. Just as it being a representation of the birth of Christ, the miracle that's told in the story of Jesus, and of the lamp where the oil burns and burns and burns with the Hanukkah story. The miracle of a new perspective and a willingness to tune in and tap in and turn on to this higher idea is happening through each one of us right now. 20th century metaphysicians would say this is good and very good, and you're good in it and as it. Good, in this case, uppercase G, is a synonym for God. That infinite, unfailing energy that is you and it's me. We say thank you for the opportunity to grow and to flow and to know as spirit and to evolve and to evolve and to evolve in mind. The mind, which is your mind, my mind, for there's only one mind. As we exhale together, letting it be, saying these words together, and so it is. Jesse's going to come on and sing us out with the song, Let There Be Peace on Earth. Or yes, there is peace on earth, and it has begun with me. Feel free to use either lyric, but wherever you may be, sing along. Your voice is of value and has power. Namaste.
Let's do it. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. Pretend we're all swaying together. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. It's to take each moment and live each moment with peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Have a fabulous week, everyone. Peace out.